Live.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another Musty Wargamers show, season 5, episode 9.
Season 5, episode 9.
Wow, time flies. And we got a lot of stuff to go through tonight. A little bit of talking. Which
awesome.
is, because we're going to obviously announce what our April thing going on.
Oh my gosh, we didn't talk about that.
Yes. It's almost here already. So it's like, I was just talking to my wife, it's like, oh my gosh, we got the show this week. And she was like, is it? Didn't you have it last Thursday? And I looked at the calendar. Like, no, it was almost 2 weeks ago. She was like,
yeah, the time is flying. Like,
I know.
Work has been crazy for me, and I've noticed that too. I asked the same question in a lot of ways. I'm kind of excited about the challenge, though.
Yeah.
When was the last challenge we did? Was it this time last year?
Yes, we did one in April of last year. We did our last challenge.
Yeah,
looks
that's
like
good.
We got Clark and Brad in the house tonight.
Hey, Brad. Awesome.
Yeah, it was like I did my what's his face, the Undead Lord from Warhammer. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The big tall guy. They turned him into a 5 foot tall statuette later in the game, but Age of Sigmar. But before he used to only be about 4 inches tall. Hey, Mel's in it this time.
And Mel, hello. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like Mel and I had some fun this last weekend, so doing some stuff. Do I hear a cat?
Cool. Yeah, he's on the other side of the door, pain in the butt.
Okay.
I could let him in, but he'd be all over this place, like just trying to tear the place up. So I'm just gonna have to let him get frustrated and then go away.
Yeah, like let me in. Yeah.
So
I got a lot of work to do.
Well, that's good. You got lots of stuff going on.
So, what have you been up to?
Well, I'm happy to say that I've had some gaming in the last couple of weeks. I played Marvel both Saturdays, the last 2 Saturdays. I played last Saturday, then I played 2 weeks ago, and I'm actually playing this Saturday, Marvel. And then after playing this game, we're going to rotate to playing a game of Sharps Practice. And so I'm looking forward to that. But last week, I may have mentioned it, but I don't know if I did. But like 3 weeks ago when I played a game of Marvel, I won, but it was like not a... it was a victory by points, like it was a victory. But if you actually like counted the emotion of like your characters being trounced and like all of that kind of stuff, like I kind of got my butt kicked in a lot of ways. But I actually won the objectives. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But then, and that was the one I told you about where Wong actually broke Loki's jaw. That was like my highlight of the actual game. But this time, I lost, and it kind of felt decisive too. But this time it felt kind of decisive. I actually lost the actual.
Kind of like Hulk taking on Loki.
Well, yeah, it was decisive. I mean, it wasn't like when I say it was decisive, what I mean is it wasn't like somewhat even, and then but I, in the feeling of it, and even the points was like you just kind of beat me. No, like I lost, pretty well. I mean, like that. It was probably like a 60-40 kind of situation, and so but it was fun, like, because I always love the game. Like the game is always fun, and so that part was really good. Wong actually still exceeded expectations. He was on my list, and even though he's like really low points and really not anyone that anybody would expect to do really well, he did well in that sense. And I used Doctor Strange better than I did the first time I used him, which kind of was good in that sense. Hey Dan, looks like Dan Ruman has joined the house. Yep. And so playing the Marvel, but next one will be Sharps Practice. I'm kind of looking forward to taking that book and dusting it off and getting a nice game of Frenchie and Neil Warren. And so that'll be coming up after next time we game after Saturday. And that's about it as far as gaming goes. I have been doing the painting. Like I think I showed on Facebook. It's unfortunate because I actually took my guys away that that I showed on the Facebook page. The Marines. They're not on my table right now. I actually have another batch of Marines that I'm starting to get ready. Depending on what we decide to do with the challenge, I may wait on these. I'm just going to get them on popsicle sticks and cut them up and clean them up and put them on popsicle sticks and get them, sprayed blue for Ultramarine blue. But then depending on what we decide to do, I might start prepping other stuff for the challenge, because I don't think I'm going to do these for our challenge. Looks like Chris is in the house. Hello, Chris. So tonight I'm going to, on the show, I'm going to get those guys ready first, and then I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to just cover him at a minimum. I'm just going to get him covered in Nuln Oil, because that's the next step.
Okay.
I want to do on him is cover the entire thing with Nuln Oil and then to dry. So some assembly and some, washing this, and then
It's
I'll
like
see.
a Titan, right?
Yeah, this is a Warlord Titan. Doesn't have the armor on him, and it's funny because you can even see him. It's big enough that you can see him even in this camera view. But I'm going to get him. He doesn't have armor on yet. It's just the under part for the most part of the Warlord. But I'm going to get him full coat of Nuln Oil all over him, and then we'll see how much time we'll have left after that, as far as more stuff that I'm doing. And as far as my musty drink tonight, I'm assuming you have one too.
Yep.
I have a Guinness left over from St. Paddy's Day. You have a whole bunch?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of it in the fridge.
Is it from St. Paddy's Day?
No, it's I've seen your case that you sent me, but
yeah,
I have a whole bunch of different style of Guinness products in the fridge.
Oh, nice.
One shelf is dedicated to Guinness.
Oh, I see. Cool. Well, I bought for St. Paddy's Day both the Jameson's with the stout, soaked in the stout casks, and a bunch of Guinness. I just kind of felt like having something St. Paddy's Day appropriate this year. I don't normally do that, but that's what I felt like doing. And so that's what I'm having tonight. A post St. Paddy's Day drink.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm still blown up here, but you're welcome to put me back. Or I can start grooving. So, so it looks like in the comments, Chris says he is huge. Yeah, he's big. Particularly when you put the little guys next to him, like the ones that are like this.
Yeah, you put the little epic guys next to him.
Yeah. And yes, I'm assuming the Guinness. Yes, I love Guinness.
Yeah.
So
every once in a while, I'll get a hankering for it and pop a can of it open or a bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Mel. He picked up some Blue Light. Nothing fancy.
So how about you, Rusty? Talk about your gaming, your hobbying, and your musty drink.
Well, let's see. Saturday, last Saturday, a week ago, we Mel and I and his brother and a couple other guys, we started playing the RPG from Warhammer RPG Only War.
Okay.
That was put out by Fantasy Flight. We started doing that one.
Now, is that because I know there's been Warhammer RPGs for a long time, but is that a recent and version of a Warhammer RPG?
Let's say I think it came out in about 2010, 12, somewhere in there. Only War. Yeah.
I think. And did they make like a number of different books that included different versions? Yeah. I think I remember that.
Death Watch, which was the Space Marine version, and then they had Only War. Then there was Rogue Trader. So you can play many different aspects. So each book was a different aspect of characters you could play.
And did you have a good time?
Yeah, we had a good time. We started off on our first campaign. We did our first little half mission, went out and scouted around, and found ourselves going up against some Dark Eldar.
Mm.
So it went out of production in 2016.
Okay. So now, when you play a game like this, did you all play the same race? Like so you're in a theme of like, you know?
Yeah, we're Imperial Guard.
Okay.
I was a commissar.
Uh-huh.
I was commissar, and
That must have been
Kozar.
tough.
Yeah. I played myself basically.
I'm just kidding.
So it's like, as an officer, I just played myself as an officer.
There you go.
Commissar. So I was just in theme myself. And I had my Mel's brother, who used to be a first sergeant and commands. Did he ever make command sergeant major? I think he did. And he was my sergeant in arms, basically. And then we had an Ogren who was very advanced. Who had, out of an intelligence level of 1 to 100, he was a 7. He didn't think too much. You know, it's like you picked your stats and everything and laid them out, and then he picked an Ogren, and when he laid all his stats out, and he realized that he had a big minus to his stat profile, and he's like, "I got Larry stupid." But we had a lot of fun playing the campaign game. So we scouted out a farmhouse and had some Dark Eldar show up, and we were like, "Hey!" We didn't want to engage them, get into a firefight, because the heaviest weapon we had was a heavy stubber and my plasma gun, but that was it. So
that's pretty rough.
Against a bunch of jet bikes, you know.
I mean, the heavy stubber's kind of cool, but
yeah, not much good against. Yeah, I made 88. All right. So yeah, it was a pretty dangerous situation. So we was like, we're reconning, so we got a recon done, and then we went back to base and told them what was happening and said, we need more firepower.
So the Dark Eldar with the leather bodysuits caused you to retreat.
Yeah, well,
run away!
They're on bikes.
Come on, they had bikes, man.
Well,
they had leather jackets and bikes.
Our primary mission was to recon and find out what was going on.
They had leather pants.
What's that?
Leather pants.
Yeah. Made out of human skin. So yeah, we went out and found, all right, this is who's causing all the problems. Then we went out and reported back, and then now our next time we're supposed to play on Saturday again. And I think he said we got a couple more individuals coming in, and then we'll do another mission to find out exactly where their base is, and we're gonna go screw them up.
Maybe they'll bring some more weapons with them.
Yeah. Well, one of our guys that's in our group has a Sentinel.
Oh, that's cool.
So if we allow him to, but his Sentinel was up on the drop ship, so up in space, so he hadn't dropped yet. So he came down.
When you play this one and you say like this person has this and this person has this, and you're kind of a bit short on resources, is it because of like having the character over time and playing the game for a while that you accumulate it, or is it the fact that you kind of rolled something and you just happened to start with more resources and got something good?
Well, you kind of start off, you pick your what type of character you want, and I was like, I chose to be a commissar, and then you pick your regiment, who your regiment is attached to. I was a Lycian drop, attached to a Lycian drop troopers. So I had all the gear that the Elysians would have as a commissar. So I had my commissar gear and their stuff also.
You have a power glove?
No, I just have grav shoot.
Okay.
Built into my suit. That's it.
Okay.
And grenades and a I got a plasma gun. So along with my chain sword and my bolt pistol. Then we got one guy that's running around. He has a las rifle. He's a Sentinel driver. He's got a las carbine and a Sentinel. We got an Ogren with his Ogren Ripper gun and a heavy stubber. And then we have our sergeant that we have in our group. He is a stormtrooper with a hotshot las gun. which is good enough to kill troopers or Marines.
Nice. So how about, is that kind of like what you're going to be doing for the next bit? Just doing a bit of RPGing?
Yeah. Yeah, we plan doing some RPGs on Saturday. Get a group going. And do that whenever we can.
Cool.
Make it happen.
Nice. So how about on the paint desk? I know you've been doing looking at BattleTech stuff.
Well, right now all I've been doing is cleaning miniatures. I got enough miniatures cleaned up and got out of the simple green, and pulled them out of the vat and got them cleaned up. So that's what I'm doing tonight, is assembling miniatures instead of painting.
Yeah.
Well, that is, it's like regimental resources equals squad gear, etc. in the game. There we go. There is a sergeant and a driver with a chimera also. We picked up a chimera as attached to that's our transport. Now, my drink of the night, let's bring this up, and there we go.
Nice.
Hazuki.
I don't know that I've had that one. Now, is that a different brand?
Yep, that's another Japanese whiskey.
Cool. Yeah, you'll have to look. I'm interested to know. Have you had that one before?
Yeah, I've had it before. It's just like a new bottle of it.
Okay.
It's kind of has apple and pear aspect to it.
Maybe you had that on the show, no?
Huh?
Have you had it on the show once before? Have you had it before?
Just hibiki and a couple other different stuff. This is the first time I've had this one on.
Okay.
It's very light. It's not a strong by any means.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been probably low char when it comes to the barrel. And I don't know if they're using, what kind of, see if it says on the back here, if they're using actual Japanese barrels, or they're using, a lot of times they import Scotch barrels.
Yeah.
Or they use bourbon barrels, Japanese. They're using Japanese fresh barrels, so they're not charred.
Okay.
That's why it's so clear.
Nice. So you said it tastes like pears?
Kind of a pearish apple.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice when it comes to... Did you hear that ding?
No.
Okay. I'm hearing dinging through my computer, but every time somebody says something on my... I suppose I should close off my... There we go. There. When people start sending me messages on Facebook Messenger, and that's when it...
Yeah. Well, I've never done these before. I mean, I painted epic Space Marines, but I've never really painted a large number like these, and these are a little bit bigger than epic. Like, I think they're 2 millimeters more. But I really was happy with the way the last batch turned out.
Yeah. I do have 2 mechs done already. I've worked on them today.
Mm-hmm.
So in about 2.5 hours worth of work, I put together 2 miniatures. I got them all set up on their bases. So I got a Malik here. That's a Malik. And then I got a Gurkha. Put together a Gurkha.
Nice.
A little sword-wielding mech.
Yeah. So what is the total number of mechs there are now? Is there a count?
Oh, I imagine somebody's actually physically counted them. There's hundreds and hundreds of them now.
And I don't mean designs, because I know that each mech can sometimes have more than one loadout design, like profile. I mean like actual.
Just style of, There is a lot, because they have mechs now all the way up to 30.
Is there more than 2? Is there 200?
There's 3150, I think is. Oh, easily probably over 250.
250 miniatures.
Yeah, easily.
And I don't mean, and I guess in some ways I don't mean like the old and the new one don't count as 2. You know what I mean? Like when they redid like let's say the Atlas, or I think the Atlas is fairly similar, but some of them like the Warhammer or something, like they might have like redone the design or something. I don't mean that. I mean like just straight out, like if you were, today buy them, they're still over 200, huh?
Yeah, well, Catalyst just came out with 95 new plastic ones, which are
Oh,
redesigns
okay.
of the metal ones.
Oh, okay.
That's what Mel just said.
Hmm.
And they're coming out. They're probably going to be redoing all of the mechs in plastic eventually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it's going to be kind of a nice addition because I'm at the time and point now where it's like you buy a plastic miniature and toss it into the. You don't have to do anything but prime it, and you're done. And you can start just giving. You can prime it in the morning, and by an hour or two later, you can put paint on it and start.
Mm-hmm.
And by that afternoon, it's already done. While these metal ones, it could be 2-3 days later. You're actually.
It's the joy of metal.
Yeah. But when they don't have whole entire books worth of mechs yet that have even been touched. So now I'm punching out these. I got some new Hex Bases here.
Mm-hmm.
Taking them off the sprue, which are from. They're from Proxy Models.
Okay.
You can get them off eBay.
That's cool.
They're not very expensive. I think like $5. You get 24 plastic bases, maybe $6 somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Not expensive at all. Well worth the expense. When you can buy for the same price, basically for buying 4 metal bases from Catalyst, you can buy 24 plastic ones.
Right.
To me, that's well worth the effort of taking the time to get some plastic ones. I've been started using them about 6 years ago, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably closer to 6, maybe 7 years ago. I think it's closer to 7. I had one client that wanted to buy a whole bunch of bait. He do about 30 mechs, and it's like, well, you can get the bases from here, or you can get them from here. And he was like, oh wow, these acrylic ones, I'm not really sure about those. And then at the time, because Litco had their, I don't know if you ever seen those.
Yeah, I get my magnets that go on the bottom of my bases. I get them from Litco.
Yeah.
For like my French Indian War and like all my other stuff that I have magnetized inside boxes.
And he didn't want to spend all the money on the metal ones, even though the metal ones are nice. They're expensive.
Yeah.
And so I started doing some research, and I found this company, and it's like, well, 24 of them for, at the time it was like $350. I think it cost me for 24 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that, and he said, order them. Like, yes, I will. And it only took like 3 days to get them because they're so light. They just go out in a first class bag. And then ever since, I've had a large, it's like I order 3-4 bags at a time, and I'll end up getting a commission come in just like this one, and then I'll have to go order more because I burned through all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking for these, for this game Apocalypse, the Warhammer Apocalypse.
Yeah.
It uses movement trays, and I was going to 3D print them, But you can actually get a clear resin that there's lots of clear resins, but there's one in particular that's a hard style resin, and sometimes people use it and mix it into other resins. It's mixable to make other like make it a little less brittle and make it more hard. And I'm looking at using a clear resin and making clear plastic movement trays on the resin printer for Apocalypse. Because the GW ones you buy are really expensive. It's like $50 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just they're pretty expensive. But
I was just seeing a thing about, I think GW is going to raise the prices of everything again.
oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that every 2 years we talk about this, or every 1 year? I'm not sure. It seems like it happens a lot.
I think it seems to happen every year.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's normal. Like in the sense of, it's not normal if you feel like the stuff's already too high, which is what I think most people feel, but it's normal for a business, to kind of go up with inflation, I guess.
Yeah, I got a lot of companies that, it's like, well, we're both into shaving. And
yeah.
One of the companies I buy my stuff from just sent out a letter not a month ago saying they're going to raise the price of everything because the cost of goods is going up.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so they raised
Sterling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured with you that would be the one you're talking about and concerned about.
Yeah, they raised the prices of everything by $1.
Okay. Is that probably won't change your thoughts?
No, there's still a bargain.
Yeah. The prices came down a little, but I've heard they will go up once the Horus Heresy set comes out. Speaking of which, I saw that the Horus Heresy news. Did you see that stuff too? Oh, well, they're actually putting out Horus Heresy 32 millimeter models and new models for the Horus Heresy plastics.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be, what I heard, it's still supposed to be 7th edition rules, like based on the Horus Heresy. Like the Horus Heresy is 7th edition rules, I believe.
Yeah.
Basically 7th edition rules.
Yeah, it's just 7th edition. It's been redone to take care of the Horus Heresy. They haven't changed it to anything else because they didn't want to have to rewrite the entire new system.
I think it's cool that they're doing the Beaky Marines.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think is cool. New Beaky Marines 32 mil. I'm tempted to get them just to paint them.
I came really close to ordering a whole bunch of the I used to have all Beaky Marines back when the Rogue Trader plastics were out. I still have some of them left.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you showed them on a video within the last year or so.
And they're probably got some right there with an arm's reach here somewhere. Or must have moved them. I tend to do that once in a while. But yeah, there was a time I probably had 200 of the darn things.
Oh, yeah.
And then I unloaded a lot of them, started selling them on eBay. They look so bad. They were good looking when they first came out. And then when the new stuff started coming out from the GW, they just these look terrible now.
At the time, they didn't have the charm that they have now when you look back at them. You know what I mean? Like at the time, they just looked like, not as machine tooled, like kind of, I don't know, like they were all individual, kind of. Well, if we're talking about like the Rogue Trader ones, the Marines, the metal ones, they were all like individual looking, like so they didn't look very consistent from one to the next, but they had like tons of personality.
Yeah, the plastics weren't all that great.
Mm-hmm.
You can make them look differently with different aspects to them. It's like you could pose them. Yeah, Mel just said I have probably 60 beakies that need stripped and fixed up, but not a priority, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like they are not, to me, really were worth the effort and time to work on,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the reasons why I just started selling them off. I'd
Yeah.
sell them off in groups of 10. I made good money off of them. I would sell a squad of 10 for the price of, because, people wanted them comparatively. I'd make it just probably twice as much as the box of 30 it came in. So,
Yeah.
because it gets to a point where you just look at something and go, oh my God. And the only reason I still have some of them left because they didn't make it. It's like going through your boxes, you go, oh wow, oh I forgot all about these. They got hidden in the box. All right.
You watching anything regularly on streaming lately?
We started watching. What do you call it? Well, all the Netflix shows that were all the Marvel Netflix shows
Yep.
are now on Disney.
Okay.
They showed up last Wednesday, so my wife and I started watching Daredevil again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I started watching the last season of the Viking show.
Okay.
It's not the Viking show. It's the one with Uhtred in it.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Last Kingdom.
Last Kingdom. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I started watching that. It's its last season.
Have you seen the new Vikings one that just came out?
I'm going to finish the Last Kingdom first, and then I'll start that one.
I got that on my playlist to watch.
Yeah. And then after that, so finish watching that, then I have to watch the last season of Ozark. And my son and I, when he has his day off, usually it's like Sunday night or so, or Monday night. Sunday or Monday, or either or both. We've been watching Pennyworth.
Okay. I think I heard of it. I don't know it though.
It's Alfred Pennyworth. The butler.
Oh, the Batman.
Yeah, it's like a prequel of when Alfred is just after he gets out of the SAS.
Mm-hmm.
And it's set in England.
Yeah. I am I'm watching. I don't know if do you know the show Top Boy?
No, I haven't heard of it.
It's on Netflix. It's actually basically I don't know if you like organized crime, like gangster kind of settings. You know what I mean? Like but it's basically set in the in London. But it's like the Jamaican sort of drug cartel and gangs and just kind of that sort of culture and scene. And it's done by the musician Drake. He's one of the executive producers, but it's actually really good. I actually watched the first season, and I think there was one that was like a prequel season, one that was the first season. I don't remember if there was two or if it was a prequel, but the latest season just came out. And so I'm watching that, and I'm enjoying it like I always do. I kind of do like it. And I'm looking forward to, because in Canada, for whatever reason, on Netflix, it takes forever for us to get Better Call Saul. Like the latest season, the last season, which isn't even new anymore, it just came out here. and I've been waiting to watch it, and it's just coming out. I should say it's coming out like April 1st or April 3rd or something, and so I've got my sights set on that. I'm watching Drive to Survive because I like the F1. So
That Better Call Saul, that's part of the Breaking Bad.
it's a spinoff series.
Okay.
It's really good. It's not the same, and you'd be quite honest. Like I love Breaking Bad so much. Did you watch that one?
I watched a few episodes.
Okay, I really like Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul is, if you like Breaking Bad, I mean, it's also very good.
I haven't watched it from the beginning. I just seen a few episodes here and there of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I really like Breaking Bad. I would say the first episode, like you have to, it's definitely one of those ones that I think you have to watch past the first episode, but I didn't have to watch too much past it before I liked it. It was really, I thought really good. I watched the first episode with my wife, like years before I watched the full series. And she didn't really like it that much, and so we just stopped watching it after the first episode. And then I went back on my own and watched it, and I loved it. Like, I really loved it.
The one episode I watched was the guys had the safe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get into the safe, and, well, it was a crushing moment. I just happened to be over at my friend's house at the time, and they were watching it because they were into it. And it's like, you ever watch this? Like, no. Actually, never even heard of it.
You have to, a lot of good shows, you have to kind of watch it sequentially to really appreciate what's going on sometimes.
Yeah, because I was totally lost.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I can't really step into shows halfway in between.
Uh-oh. Dang it. Let go. Ah, son of a Seabiscuits, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it when I glue myself to my miniature.
I hear Stranger Things is coming up now. I know they've been saying that forever, but I think it is actually. Did you like that one?
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah. I guess they're doing it in 2 parts.
Yeah. I think it comes out in June or July or something like that.
I actually heard it was sooner. I heard it was like May and June, like 2 different parts.
Oh,
but maybe I'm wrong.
I might be wrong.
In any case, I really liked the last season of that came out. I remember enjoying it. If I remember right, it was very 80s. Well, the whole show was 80s, but it was like in the mall, and like it was just really, there was a lot of fun 80s nostalgia to that.
You definitely get that. Hey, there's a new thing called a mall.
Yeah, exactly.
We got a mall, man.
It's hilarious.
And then we have the aliens attack.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how old the kids are on screen this time around.
Yeah, you go. It's been what, 2-3 years since the last season.
I know it's got to be pretty significant.
The girl, she was did a Netflix show with guy that played Superman and The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Cavill.
Okay.
She was it Ilona or Holmes, something like that?
Yeah, the one that plays 11.
Yeah,
right.
Well, she played the sister of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, okay.
It was a good, kind of interesting. So I've seen her. I think that came out last year, and could have been 2020 for all I remember. It's like time goes by so fast when you're doing that.
Yeah.
So it's last time I seen her was in that, and she was, while she was in what the heck you call it, Godzilla also.
Yeah, I don't know. Was it Godzilla King Kong she was in?
Well, she was in.
Because I hadn't seen it either. Like,
I think it was both. Well, I think she was in both because her mom was in the one scientist that was involved, and she was the daughter.
okay.
And for the life of me, I don't know what her name is. I just know that she's the actor that plays 11. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm lousy when it comes to actor names.
I'm really bad with that. One of my friends picked up the old second edition Rules of 40K.
Okay.
And so I'm probably going to be playing some games with my Rogue Trader Managers second edition. Just try it out.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see. I didn't play second edition. Kind of wanting to, I got to mention to him to try to get some more 6th edition fantasy games in too, because I do enjoy that.
Let's see, 6th edition was around 2004.
I think it went from 2000 to 2004, actually. In that area.
So the people in the comments section should probably tell us.
So what are you thinking of doing for your painting challenge?
Well, I'm thinking of putting together these guys that I showed in the last show. These Shopti warriors. You can put those together, and since they've been sitting on my table for the last 2 years or year and a half or something like that, I think it's been a little over a year. I think they got them in February of last year. I think I'll toss them together and prime them up here in the next.
How many are there?
3, not many. That's going to be since I got this commission I'm working on.
Dan says 6th edition came out in 2000. Ding!
All right.
The only reason I know, I kind of knew it because I remember buying it at that time. I think I told you the story several times that I bought it and then never played it, but I remember it being in 2000. I played it once, and then the guy that I got into it with, like, after painting everything, like, just didn't play it anymore, and so I didn't play any of it after that. And so I still have the original one, like, rule book that I bought in 2000.
Yeah, let's see. What 4th edition was what the first box set. And that came out in 93, 94, somewhere in there.
Has there been any more old world news?
I haven't seen anything.
I don't really plan on doing anything about it, but I'm just curious. Bit of a curiosity to see if Dan knows. I bet she does. It is. I mean, like, I'm sure the miniatures are going to be awesome. That's the one thing. Like, I could see myself potentially picking something up just to have it to paint. you know,
Yeah.
like, and not even play, just not even care, just paint it up. If the miniatures are cool and it's based on the old world, then why not? Maybe I know why not, because I have enough to paint for the rest of my life and I'll never get to it. But still, why not?
Yeah. Well, I got all these Age of Sigmar. I have the undead version, you know, that came out for Age of Sigmar that
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to do anything with. Got them all put together, and then haven't done anything with them since. Other than, well, I played a few games with them, but that's where I got told by the guy running the Games Workshop store that I couldn't play with my miniatures that I had because they weren't Games Workshop. And I just kind of looked at him and was like, son, these mechs, or not mechs, but miniatures are older than you. And yes, they are Games Workshop. Just because they don't look like Games Workshop, they are.
Dan says, no recent news on the old world. I've been losing interest in it as I suspect it will not be what I want it to be.
Yeah, most likely.
Well, that's almost 100% of the time in almost any case, but I do agree. I think, I don't know, I hadn't thought about buying the miniatures just to buy the miniatures, but I think if they come out with a cool army, I could pick something up just to paint it just for fun. But
well, I find it, my motivation to paint something runs congruent with them having me wanting to play it. You know,
yeah,
if I'm not playing it, I have a tendency not to.
I do agree that is a huge motivation, but sometimes I still, I don't know, like if it fits the genre that I really like and it's everything but the fact that I don't really want to play the rule set or something, then I could see trying it to paint it up, but fun. But I don't know. I probably won't. I have a very high tolerance for spending money for new games and stuff.
Dan said, pretty sure I won't be able to afford the minis anyway. Well, yeah,
that's true. That could be
considering how the price of everything has gone up through the roof.
got my next. I'm blowing resin dust that I've shaved off the bottom of these stands, but I've got my next line to paint up of Marines here, using the same popsicle sticks that I used before.
Those are pretty big. Those are the Marines?
Yeah. They're 8 millimeter. Yeah, they'll be a little bit smaller when they're Marines, but they're, you know, I think right there they might. I have it close to the camera, but like they're really not that big, you know.
Well, when you look at them, it's like they look about the size of the dreadnoughts for the old epic size, you know.
Mm-hmm. I have to pull out my epic ones. They're probably 2 millimeters bigger, so they're 25% bigger, I would say, than the Marines from Epic.
So, what is everybody working on tonight? If you're watching, what are you working on?
I went at a trip to Costco a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. And I don't normally go to Costco. My wife does. You guys have Costco where you're at, or do you use different big supplier?
We got Costco and Sam's.
Sam's, yeah. So Costco is the only one here, and I don't normally go. And the funny thing is, my wife said after we came back that I am like the absolute worst person to go with when it comes to the amount that we spend if I go. Because like I actually got to the end of an aisle, and I've been thinking about trying my hand at working out of it. And I saw a home gym on the end of the aisle. And I used to work out like many moons ago, like when I was in my 20s with free weights and stuff, not huge and, like just a fair bit. There was a time when I was into it a fair bit, but I ended up picking up like a universal kind of system to be able to do upper and lower body working out, just to have something to be able to quickly run down, not go to a gym, but just quickly run downstairs and do some stuff. And
kind of like that stuff over there.
Well, those are the free weights, right? I can't see.
I got my universal. I got some boxes sitting on my universal machine right now because we had a BattleTech game, and I set things up with that, so I had to move stuff around. But I also got free weights too.
Yeah, I knew that you did free weights, but it's been a long time since I did anything, and I actually even did it. I went really light, but I was doing like 12 to 15 reps just to kind of be able to not looking to really like bulk up like crazy, but just to dip my toe into this, just because I didn't want to get too sore. But I worked chest and triceps because I knew from the days that I worked out that when you work your comparable groups, like groups that support them, bigger groups, that it's a good workout, right? Like when you're working the same groups kind of. And man, I've been sore for a couple of days now, like really sore. Like I woke up the next day and I was like, just not even like leaning on my arm, but just my arm being there. Like I could feel the soreness without even moving my arm. Like that's how bad it was. I was like, oh gosh.
I had soreness in my chesticles. They are sore because I worked out.
Man. And I wasn't even trying to go crazy, but
it's amazing how quickly we can turn into marshmallows.
Oh yeah.
It's like way back in the day when I on my 40th birthday, I benched 505, which is about roughly what 250 kilos, something in there. And I was big.
Yeah.
At the time, it's like I'm wearing one of the shirts I had from that time where you see it's kind of loose on me.
Yeah.
It used to be tight. That's how it's like I had 24-inch arms at the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you were fairly into it.
Oh yeah, I worked out all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, let's try and figure out what I'm gonna do here. It's like normally I look at stuff on my phone trying to figure out how to put something together.
Dan says he's working on World War II Soviets.
Brad's working on his Wild West buildings, and
Mel
is browsing STL files.
So has Mel got a 3D printer now, or getting one?
He has
getting someone to buy him some.
They are going to get a resin 3D printer. I think they're looking. I send the link to the Elegoo one.
Yeah, that's good. It's awesome. I love it.
Was going to get an Elegoo until car troubles.
You should have told the Ford dealership to throw one in.
Well, yeah.
Might have been out of their territory a bit.
They would have looked at me and go, huh? Yeah, then I could just 3D print my own car.
Yeah, that's right. Piece by piece.
What am I looking at here?
So, Rusty, have you ever seen, you've seen Unbreakable, right, with Bruce Willis?
Yes.
That was you in the basement there with the weed bench.
How much
everything can you on there?
I don't know. It just keeps going up.
You don't have your raincoat?
No. Yes. Yeah, it's like there was a time when I'd get on do my shoulder workout, and it'd be, you see these guys doing their trying to do their bench at like 275 or something, and they're like trying to get one up, and I go over to the shoulder press and put 315 on and go just start repping it for 12, and they just kind of look at you and just shut up, man. I tell you, it's what happens when you work out all your life. Being a farm kid works. Oh, that's how it goes together. All right. Working on metal jigsaw puzzles. Oh. Yeah, I've always been somebody that's always enjoyed doing a workout ever since I was a young teenager.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. As much as I liked lifting weights a bit when I was young, and I'm not really sure why I'm kind of wanting to do it again. I think it's just a health thing because I feel like I'm getting old, and whatever. I just want to bounce back a bit and just kind of do something I haven't done in a long time, whatever, health wise or whatever. But I used to probably enjoy running more than lifting. The feeling I get, like the endorphins, in the brain, from running, I enjoyed more. And I'd listen to music and just get really kind of enjoy it into the groove. And I would have to say that's probably, but for whatever reason, I kind of wanted to try this. And I don't like going to a gym, not so much because I don't like people, but I don't like to have to drive there and drive back. I don't like to waste the time. I just like to, I know some people do it for inspiration. I usually can get myself motivated without that, but I don't like waste the time, driving there. And even if it's close, even 20 minutes, I can do a good portion of the workout just going downstairs in the 20 minutes. And, and so that was mainly my reason for wanting to just do this little home gym thing. And it was a really good price. It was, I got probably a fairly commercial universal, not probably a top quality with every bell and whistle, but just something pretty decent for what I need it for. And I got it for on sale for $4.99 Canadian, which if you can imagine, that's $400 US probably. Yeah. And that to me was really good.
That's worth it.
Yeah.
Your time is worth it, is another commodity that's worth something to you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I have a gym in my, I picked up and started, and I bought all this stuff. I quit going to the gym and doing that there because it was trying to find somebody to work out with when, get people of crop. Because you need, if you're throwing around a lot of weight, you need somebody that can be strong enough to pull it off you.
That's true. And with this, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Mel says, we have an Anet 8 and an Anycubic S Pro. We want to get a resin printer, but it's going to be a few months yet. Yeah. The thing is that I've been using my my filament printer lately to print bases and other things. It's still actually a very good thing to have.
Yeah, I've been wanting to have if I had a filament printer, it'd be to do terrain, making buildings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking up what Dan just said because I'm not sure what it is. He said that. Let's see.
Peloton. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a.
I'd never seen that before. Is it a brand name for treadmills and stuff, or is it a specific piece of equipment?
it's Peloton is a system. They have multiple different kinds of systems, and I think they have like a TV screen also on it, so you
Okay.
can if you for a subscription service, you can actually do workouts at the same time and be motivated by other people while you're doing your workout.
Oh, that's cool.
So you're actually facing them while you're doing your workout.
Oh, now that could be kind of freaky for some people too, though. How do you like meet up with people and not kind of like, I mean, some people would be really freaked out to just have a stranger appear in front of them, and just working out. That's kind of funny.
If you're really self-conscious about having people watch you or see body image and stuff, then that might not be the thing. But if that doesn't bother you, then it's worth the time and effort to have it.
But is it like a two-way conversation happening too?
I would imagine you can interact with each other. I would say there's probably a few colorful metaphors going on. Come on!
I don't have a problem with people, but I think that is hilarious. Like jump on the treadmill and all of a sudden people just see you like from all over the place, and you're just kind of talking with strangers and stuff. That's weird. Oh man, I think that's weird.
Yeah, we get the commercials for them all the time, especially around the holidays. You get the Peloton commercials.
Well, I'm sure they do it in a way, or they create community in a way that's socially acceptable, and people get over that. But I just, I never heard of that before. I thought that was kind of weird.
It's an interesting marketing tool.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Mel says, if you want constructive criticism with your workout, go to basic training.
Yeah, true. Drop HR fives. Yeah,
go ahead.
I was say Brad just said they have commercials, and I see them once in a while.
Okay, yeah, so I guess they're here too.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Come on, everybody, work out.
Well, I'm in that phase where I just started, and I still feel really sore 2 days later, and so I didn't want to start working other muscle groups and get really sore until like I got my first sore group done, like I'm feeling a little better, and I'll go and start working like other muscle groups and stuff, and then go back to the original and stuff. But kind of working my way into it. There's a bit of, I don't know if you notice with the universals, but there's a bit of resistance in the universals with the cables and stuff. Yeah. And I think it feels heavier than the actual weight itself. Like with the universal, it feels a bit heavier because of the all the tension and the cables going through so many different pulleys and stuff.
If you get a really good, high quality, expensive universal machine, that tension goes away because it's you got ball bearings and all that stuff in it. So the actual weight is the weight. With mine here, I got a cheap one, which is Gold's Gym one.
Okay.
And it doesn't have any ball bearings in the wheels and stuff. So if you put 20 pounds on, it's probably closer to 40 pounds of resistance.
I have to say that I agree with you on that, because like we all looked at it and we were like, this seems a lot more. But to be quite honest, I don't really mind that.
Yeah.
I don't really mind it. As long as I don't have to know what the number is, as long as I have a way of just marking off where I was at last time versus this time and that kind of thing, I don't really mind. Dan says they can't see you. The instructor interacts with you, though, if you want. There are lots of ways to use it. That's actually cool. Okay. I'm imagining that they must, I figured that there must be a way that they use it, that it's popular, but I just couldn't imagine stepping on a treadmill and turning it on and be like somebody just like there looking at me and going, hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Are you going to use that treadmill in your underwear or what? Nice tidy whities, baby.
So, what do you do?
I eat tater chips and walk on my treadmill.
Okay, I'm going to go now.
Don't you eat tater chips and walk on your treadmill?
All right. Next is putting a wash on this beast. Next.
All righty.
You know, I don't know what your preferred paints are at this point, but model color are really probably my preferred paints, overall. There's still like select paints of other brands, particularly GW, that I like certain ones.
Certain
colors. Huh?
GW has nice colors.
They do. But I'd have to say that some of the stuff like the washes and things, like when I don't use them for a while because I started with them, I do kind of enjoy going back to them sometimes. Just because I used them for so long and learned on them in so many ways.
Yeah, it's when it comes to the actual paints that I liked using, it was the P3s.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked their paints. But when it comes to the washes, I like the GW washes. I was buying the P3 washes, but they just never seemed to do the job for me. I don't know if it was that their thickness or something of nature.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks over time. I mean, JW has been known for their washes being pretty good.
In the beginning, they sucked. Let me tell you.
Agrax Earthshade is like, people die for that.
And too many people forget there's other ones out there other than Agrax Earthshade.
That is true.
And it's like, I'm going to use Agrax Earthshade. That's brown, right? You planning on using it on metal? You looking for a rust effect or what? And they look at you, go, what? What do you mean?
I mean, one of the reasons why I like monocolor is the same reason why I like GW's paints, is that they have a high pigmentation rate. They don't give you watered down paint.
Yeah.
And I do like that. I feel I would rather water down myself and have the choice to water down than have watered down paint. It's really, you can't go back from water already being in there.
Exactly. That was one problem I had with the P3s. They had some white highlight style ones.
Yeah.
And they they didn't have enough depth to them. It's like you put them on, and the next thing you know, it's like, all right, what the heck is going on here? They would be bleached out.
Yeah. I don't know.
You'd have to put on another coat and another coat. And you felt like you were getting anywhere with it.
Even though I'm happy with model color, like that's probably my favorite. And I like model air and some game color, but I like the model color if I had to choose one. I just like painting in general enough that I kind of like the idea of trying different paints just because I like painting. And
yeah,
did you know that guy Duncan from GW actually has come out? He's no longer with GW. He's like but the guy that was the painter, Duncan, he has his own set of paints now. And I hear they're premium paint. I hear they're pretty good, but they're kind of limited. There's 60 of them. They're coming out with another 60. They were like on Kickstarter and stuff.
Yeah, I used to follow him when he was on. That was the only reason I had watched his Games Workshop channel was to watch him do stuff.
Yeah.
Armor Cast Shade come in handy for me. Armor Cast Shade.
Pardon me.
I know Army Painter heads are shades, but Armor Cast? Oh, we got Joshua Trescott's in. GW does really well with contrast. I use a lot of theirs, but I preferred Vallejo for layers and bases. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vallejo has a nice wide selection. Our shop here has Vallejo now, but it seems to be more of the geared towards the their historical range of paints.
Well, and the model color is more geared towards the historical, even though I use it for everything. Like in some of the game color they have is, geared towards the fantasy. That was their fantasy solution. But I like the pigmentation of the model color, and I can usually find what I want in that range in most cases. It is true that some of the fantasy paints have a really nice right out of the bottle brilliance, if you're looking for like a wizard blue or something like that or whatever. But I really like model color.
Yeah, Mel says maybe it's the Army Painter. I think it's Army Painter you're thinking of because they have their dip shade stuff.
I don't know if they look like this, Mel, but the inks that they sell are really nice, like soft tone, strong tone. I do like them.
But it's probably the Blue Light that's talking.
The what?
The Bud Light, Blue Light.
Oh.
Blue Light.
Their inks, like those strong tone, those soft tone ones, are really nice kind of glaze. They kind of achieve a halfway effect of their actual enamel strong tone and dips, not without committing to being like a full scale dip that you can't do as much after you dip it. You're kind of done.
Dang it!
Thought maybe the bar came down on you there.
Oh, my mech fell apart.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's the problem with these metal ones. You think you got it tacked well together, and then all of a sudden it falls apart. Yeah, Mel said that's it. That paint you held up.
Okay, yeah. Oh, they're good.
Mel, at Gamecast, what do they carry there? Do they carry GW or they got something else? I haven't even looked at what they got for paint. My wife walking around upstairs. Celestials and heights do not agree. That is exactly true. It's like, I don't know if you've seen it earlier. I got one done. Come on. Here we go. Get it in the screen. Come on. You can do it. There we go.
Oh, sorry. I was looking down. Oh, yeah. Cool.
One celestial.
They're huge for $6 mil.
Well, if you could see that one, the one I just showed you is half the height of the one I just put together.
Oh, wow.
The one I just put a serif together, and the one I just showed you was a Malik. Yeah, we're planning on doing the serif. One I just showed you, this one here is the Malik.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
That's the Malik.
Yep.
And this is the Seraph. This one here.
Yeah, it's pretty huge.
Yeah. His feet are almost too big for the base. Yeah, we're going to be doing our a Word of Blake campaign coming up. We already got the Word of Blake guys put together for the campaign. They're just waiting on me to paint everything up. GW, Vallejo, and Bullet. Not sure about the last one. I never heard of Bullet.
There's a new range, or there's a range that's out. I don't know how new it is. It's you know how I have the Conta Arms
Yeah.
fantasy ones, like that are meant to be like a certain generation of the GW paints. Well, they have one that's supposed to be like the older version than those, and I just heard about them. It intrigued me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice thing about the economy, or people see a niche that can be also taken care of, because I got a feeling a lot of these paints come from the same factory.
Yeah, in many cases.
Josh says, some of the nastiest mechs I ever played. The fact that they're in a lot of ways more advanced than the clan mechs, which is true. You play against some Celestials. The first time I ever played Celestials, they were on my side, and they were all 1-2 pilots.
Mm-hmm.
One gunnery, two piloting, and with their C3I systems and everything they had, they just obliterated. Nobody had faced them before and really knew how they're going to do. And we were at Gen Con, we were playing, and we just wiped the floor with them. It's like we wiped out all the mechs that we faced that were supposed to last us 4 days in a day.
Oh.
So the campaign was supposed to go 4 days, and we wiped them all out in 1 day. And they were like, well, we're going to have to, tomorrow will be a new scenario. You guys get the same mechs, but we're going to have to print some new stuff. You're thinking of the nostalgic 88 paints, Palmer?
Yes. Who said that?
Dan.
Perfect. I think you're right. Those are what I'm thinking of. Who makes those? I'm assuming it's not Nostalgic 88, that it's like another company, or maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
I could see once kind of going through my coat to arms a little more, maybe just trying them out. Nostalgia 88, so that's the name of the company too. Okay. I have heard good things. I mean, I haven't heard complaints, just in a limited amount that I've heard about them.
Nostalgia 88 just means that they're from, all the paints are from 1988.
I think they're emulated to be like them, you know. I mean, I was reading a little bit on them, and some people like were even saying that the smell test, like the actual smell and like of the paints, is like the same, which, you know, seems odd, but to some people, you know, like nostalgia is very much about sound and smell and things like that.
Well, smell is the one sensory thing that makes us remember things.
Yeah. Mel says he thinks it's AK Interactive instead of Bullet.
Oh, yeah, AK Interactive. Okay. Yeah, the AK Interactive, they got a nice selection of stuff that you can use to really improve. You know, it's more geared towards modeling than
Hmm.
anything. But
Yeah.
now the heat just turned off. Uh,
Starting to get cold, or you just don't hear the sound of the heat anymore?
it's when the heat goes off. I get that overpressure going from overpressure to underpressure. My ears pop. It's about 34 degrees right now. Not bad.
30. Oh, 34 Fahrenheit, so one above freezing.
Yeah.
Okay, because 34 here is kind of warm. Really warm, actually.
Yeah, you're about 14-hour drive away, I think.
From where you are?
Yeah.
14 hours? Are
Yeah,
you serious?
I think so.
Wow.
It takes 8 hours to 8.5 to 9 hours to get to where I used to live in Minnesota from where I
Okay.
live. So,
Yeah. Guess that's true.
and that is still a hour and a half drive to get to the border.
Yeah. I would have thought it'd been longer, but you might be right.
All right. So I have this Galahad and a Seraph going at it.
Mm-hmm.
The paint fume or glue fumes are building up here. Hey man, is that Freedom Rock, man? Blue Flame. All right. I've never played a Blue Flame before. One of those mechs that I've never seen on the battlefield or actually seen an actual miniature of it.
That's what you're working on now?
Yeah. It's a quad mech.
You're going to have to do a Thoughts from the Inner Sphere on the Blue Flame.
Yeah, I will eventually get to it. I just moved into the 3058 book, which went out, the video went out today.
Mm-hmm.
And so, new book. I've gone through the 30, the 2750 book, the 3025 book, the 3050 book, and the 3055 book. Now I'm moving on to 3058. So that will tell you I have that was episode 247. That
Mhm.
would tell you how many mechs there are so far.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Hard thing to believe is I've done that many episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you actually didn't even start out with that. Like you did that way into your channel.
Yeah, it's about 2018, 2019, somewhere in there when I started doing it.
Okay.
And I think it was 2014 is when I started actually putting videos on my channel. And you were putting out videos, what, 2012, somewhere in there?
Yeah, in that area.
Because I actually made my account in 2011, I think it was, about the same time you did.
Mm-hmm. Actually, no, that was before me. I think I did my account either late 2012 or the beginning of 2013.
Okay. Yeah, my daughter made it for me, which is why I have the name of my channel.
Mm-hmm.
The Grinding Ice, the Hellcarex. The Nodorian elves crossed into Middle Earth across the Hellcarex. Got a picture of it on my phone showing the elves crossing over. Many elves died that day. Chasing down Melkor to get the Silurians back. Right. Let's see what this mech looks like. That's part of the battle is when you look at something new, you're like the jigsaw puzzle. I think the reason I have never seen it on the battlefield because it's a quad mech.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't really gravitate to quad mechs.
Why is that?
Oh, probably because of the lack of ability with quad mechs compared when it comes to firepower. Oh, that's cool. Blow it up here so that people can see it. There we go. Can you see that? There you go.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Interesting. It has 3 points of contact on the ground. One leg up, like lifting its leg on a hydrant. All right, Spot, lift your leg. Put his toes down. That's looks like that one. Well, at least I say this is not as bad as the putting together the Forge World stuff.
Oh yeah, like which stuff? Like when you did the Tomb King
Oh,
stuff, or the
before it,
Mechanicum?
mechanic before I started doing the Mechanicum, I was doing those some of the knights and um, other chaos stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They would just send you the kit.
Yeah.
You just get a kit and no instructions on how to put it together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this is the whole reason the name of my channel is Lord of the Rings. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. And then they had that trailer come out here recently for the Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, like the new show.
Yeah.
Now that's coming out on HBO. Is that what it is, or?
Uh, Amazon.
Oh, perfect. Huh. It's going to be on Prime or no?
Yeah, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that I'm looking forward to then.
Well, people are not too happy because the guys that are doing the show said, "Oh, we don't care about the books. We're just making a show." So there's a lot of uproar on that one, let me tell you, which I can understand. People do not, it's like, do not mess with my dreams.
Just putting. I finished my other guns that were on the top. I just put mega bolters on the top carapace. But I'm gonna do the arms on this too. I took the arms off so I could paint this, but I painted the top ones. Now I'm gonna paint the mega bolters.
The infamous mega boltos. Yeah, it was like a couple years ago when I did that. We were really going heavy into the. I was playing a lot of Epic. I guess it would have been 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been the fall of 2018 or 19. I can't remember. Somewhere. I think it was 2019. But I was playing a lot of Epic back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I got around and painted lots of my Epic stuff then. That's when I really finished out my Orc army.
Yeah.
Come on. This thing go together.
When they announced the Horus Heresy stuff, the video that they showed Warlord Titans. So I was kind of like wondering whether they were coming out with a 6 mil game.
Well, you always see that and you wonder.
And then they don't.
They don't. What's the ... mean? Yeah, I got to do there's a white flame in here somewhere in this pile. There's a white flame, blue. I'm doing the blue flame now, white flame. And all this Word of Blake stuff.
Isn't the Lord of the Ring? Isn't Gandalf a student of the White Flame, or the Light Flame, or something like that? Doesn't he say that in the? When he refers to himself when he's talking to the big beast, the Balrog. He's like, addresses.
I am the holder of the flames of Anor. He has one of the rings of power. That one of the rings that were made for the elves.
Yeah.
He possesses one.
Oh, okay.
They gave it to him. The elves did. And Gandalf and the Balrog are pretty much the same critter.
Yeah, I know they both are referred to as the same name. Like they're sort of like I'm gonna my words, not theirs. Like they're kind of like demigods.
Yeah.
You know.
What the heck?
Yeah,
Maya, something like that.
that's what I had read too. And I don't know where they talk about that. I think they talk about it in outside of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's in Silmarillion.
Okay.
And then Lost Tales and all that fun stuff is currently reading through The Hobbit, following up with the Lord of the Rings. First read through, excited to read all about the praises of it. Yeah, definitely. It's like you read the first one to always read, especially if you got kids, is get them into The Hobbit, and then get them read the Lord of the Rings, and then if you're really ambitious and crazy and insane, read the Silmarillion, and then get into Lost Tales and all that. And you really go down the rabbit hole there. I remember reading when the Silmarillion came out in the 70s, and I read it back then. It's like, wow, this is so freaking cool. It's like learning why all the stuff and why things were happening the way they were. It was an eye opener for me.
Mm-hmm. Painting the big gloves on the big. Well, I've done the miniature now. Doing the power glove, power fist.
Oh, putting the wash on them?
Yeah, just doing the weapons now, like putting the power fist, wash on the power fist and stuff.
Oh, about the positioning of the white flame. Yeah. Oh boy. I got the legs on. It actually stands for some reason. I don't know how I managed that. Now I'm just trying to get these little weapon pods on. I might have to get the tweezers out for this one. My big fingers are not working so good. Where's the other?
Do you have Lord of the Rings army?
Me?
Yeah.
No, Dan does. Dan has a
I know he's really into it. Yeah.
I wanted to when it first came out, and I looked at that and I was like, oh man, I wanted to get all this. And then I was like trying not to spend the money at the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of a problem when I got a completionist. If I started into a game system, I want everything with it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I would have been the only person playing it. Oh my gosh, I got him together. The blue flame is
I think you've got me on the Zoom again. I don't know how long I've been there for. I've been looking down at the model.
I was like concentrating on putting this guy together. Let's see. You can see the little guy right there. There he is, where my finger is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, spoilers. Yeah, kidding. You can't spoil a book that is as old as The Lord of the Rings. Okay. If you're going to read the book, The Silmarillion, do it while you're wide awake with a cup of coffee or cup of tea that's got caffeine. With the first part.
I didn't think you could do caffeine.
I don't. I'm just suggesting it. This is So this is your options. If when you're wide awake in the morning and you're at your best, not sleepy, read the first part, because the first part is all about how everything is made, the gods and everything, and how they made everything. And if you're tired by any means, you might fall asleep. But once you get past the opening, preamble section of it, the epilogue or however you want to call it, you get through that section, then you can start working on the other part of it, which is not bad. And then with that, then you get all the that's what pretty much talks about the how everything comes to be the way it is. And it's you got the war against the Dark Lord and the elves and their fight with everything, and how the dwarves come to be and where they come from. Then there's when I first started reading them years ago, there wasn't even this thing called you little bugger, you fell off. Why'd you do that to me? Now they got Lost Tales and stuff like that, which have a whole bunch of extra stuff.
When you say now, is it still Tolkien writing it, or is it somebody else?
Yeah, his son Christopher took all of his notes that he had written together, because there's he put together more of an extensive backstory to write The Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just how he was. He was a kind of a completionist style. He wouldn't. He felt that he couldn't go forward writing something unless he had where it come from.
Yeah.
And he kept building on the lore of it, and kept building and building. So he'd write something. It was like, oh, I'm not really sure I like that, how that works out. But he had all of his notes. He kept everything. He wouldn't throw everything away. So they turned around and turned it into books that you can read.
Right.
Where have you gone? You ever put stuff away and then forget where you put it? I got a pair of clippers here someplace. Metal shears. All right. Anybody need some old style bottles? I got all kinds of old GW paint bottles. I used to use them to make my own mixes and blends and stuff like that. Ah, that's where those things got off to. Old-fashioned walkie-talkies. I got these at Christmas in 1975.
Wow.
Still got them.
Man. Still work perfectly?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
They're CB channel. So I used to, when I was a kid, talk to people on CBs, and then back in the mid 70s, around 77, we had a really good maximum for when it come to the solar flux index. And I was able to talk to people in California and East and West Coast just with my little 5-watt handheld here, which was kind of cool. Which is how I got into ham radio as a kid.
Yeah.
That's why I got all this communication gear here. I got hooked on it at a young age. Oh, that's where that stuff got off to. It's boar butter for musketry.
Brad says to use the old paint pots as buildings.
Good idea. Oh, wow. Okay. When you go looking through your stuff, I just found the charger for my handheld CB or handset. Well, now I don't know what I did with it. I'm like a pack rat. I could see these actually being used as buildings in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Ultramarine blue. More enchanted blue. Gold yellow.
Yeah, I have some of those. Actually, I think I've got it right here. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. That's it. That's the bottle.
Enchanted blue. The one thing about these is you can rehydrate them a bit.
Yeah. The older versions you could. The new ones, no.
Yeah.
Once they start drying out, they're done.
Yeah.
I don't. Kind of disappointing with them. There.
Got it. I pulled out my next 5 Beastmen out of my 15 Nurgle ones of the old Beastmen, and there you go. And I think I'll probably do these in the painting challenge among something else as well.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm digging around because this little base right here doesn't quite fit onto the tip. Doesn't quite fit in to my base. I'm going to snip it.
Oh, okay.
And with these clippers, I just snip it off. Real easy.
I'm just going to grab some bases real quick. I'll be right back, just from the shelf here.
All right.
think what I'm going to try for the April painting challenge, and I'm not sure how successful I'll be, but I'm really going to try. Is I'm going to try to do a bit of a potpourri of stuff. Like, I think I'm going to do those 5 beastmen, and I think I'm going to do maybe like 2 French Indian War British officers that I've had sitting on horseback. You know, that I've been sitting on there that I was planning on doing, and I think I might do like Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch from Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Okay.
So I'll actually have like 3 things that I kind of like to paint that, you know, while I'm not doing, and before I go back to the little scale stuff here, for Horus Heresy 40K, I'll do a couple Marvel characters. Scarlet Witch is probably more powerful in the game, but I really wanted to paint Quicksilver. I really wanted to paint that character, and I actually want to feel that character. I want to actually try like a hypersonic speed character, like in the game, like somebody that's just really fast, just to see how it works. And also, eventually, I want to do a little bit of a villain troop, and I'd like to have him in it. And so, yeah, I'll do the Beastmen and a couple of British officers, and then a couple of Marvel characters. And I think that'll probably, with my lack of painting speed, although I'm starting to get a little better, like this stuff has excited me, and I don't know if you've noticed, I've been a little more productive than usual, like since doing this. Not like tremendous, but those tanks were a lot of tanks, you know, to actually do. And I kind of spent a bit of time on them. I think maybe that'll be good. Fun thing for April then, like we're talking about. I might have to get started beforehand, April, if I want to get finished by the end, just with my painting speed. But maybe I'll be successful.
I found you watch those kick-ass movies.
The comic ones, like called Kick-Ass, right?
Yeah.
Kick-Ass 2. Yeah, I've seen them.
You remember the character, the actor that played Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
Do you know who he went on to play other parts in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
No. What did he play?
Petro. Scarlet
He played
Witch, Quicksilver.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, because of his makeup and his hair and stuff, I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, they changed him a bit. Yeah, obviously he's a little older and put on some more weight.
I did not know that.
Yeah, when you see him at the very end of the Kick-Ass 2, when he's out working out, you know, actually showing that he's in shape by the end, you look at it's like, why does he look? Man, I've seen him in a different movie. It was like, what has he been in? So I looked him up. It's like, oh, that's why, because he's patron. Is he in what the heck you call it?
Avengers?
Yeah, when they David, not the robot in it.
Vision?
Well, yeah, that's where Vision come from. That same movie.
Ultron.
Ultron, yeah.
Yeah.
So he ends up getting mowed down.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's kind of cool. A little bit of things you learn.
Exactly.
WandaVision. Yeah, I finally just watched WandaVision about a month ago.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I wasn't sure in the beginning what the heck it was. This weird in the beginning, then it actually realized this was, you know, she was having a problem.
Problem.
She was.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, she's sort of having a meltdown.
Okay.
So when you got someone as powerful as WandaVision, well, reality can get bent a little bit. Let me move this over here. Come here, look. We're having technical difficulties. All right. There we go. You guys can see that one here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I finally got the blue flame and the Gurkha. The Gurkha is holding the blue flame upright so he will glue to his base.
Hmm.
But the secret of doing metal miniatures is doing a real good cleaning with the what do they call it?
Simple
simple green.
green is what you're using. Yeah, I remember you saying on your video that you're using the simple green.
A good cleaning solution will keep them in place. Get all that release off of them, and then once you got that on, then the whole thing I'm doing, found out over the years, is that here I got this little piece of paper here, which is right here. I put a little bit of super glue on it because I got this liquid super glue.
Yep.
This stuff right here.
Sure.
And I put a little bit on that paper, and then I just kind of put a little bit of super glue on that, dip the miniature into it just a little bit, and I can tack it on together, let it dry, tack together, very little bit, and then I can take this liquid super glue and drip it on after the fact, and it will capillary action will go into all the cracks and everything. And when it dries, it's nice and solid, and the model will stay together. Unless you drop it, then it goes off like a hand grenade.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dan. That's many years of experience when it comes to metal models. Like my brothers don't do that, and they have that problem where they'll, in our last game, or even if or my one friend who also plays with us in our campaign over in Iowa City, he put one of the miniatures down and just set it down kind of hard, and it just fell apart because he put it together, just super glue it together without cleaning it or anything.
Yeah.
And nothing sticks together.
Right. This one here, out of my 30 Beastmen models that I have, that are the individual ones that I've talked about, it just so happens that on this third set I'm doing that are the Nurgle ones, the last 5 are the Nurgle ones. The last one I was looking for, the last miniature from this range that I was looking for is this one. And you probably can't see it too well, but basically it is a Nurgle one. This guy in particular has a bit of a zombie eye in him, but this one is probably the one that's the most meaningful to me out of it, because I looked so long for him. I ended up probably collecting these over 3 to 4 years, but I actually looked for this one and had really only a couple left for almost 2 years. I actually looked for this, and I'll never forget. I still won't forget. I still don't forget. It's been a while, and I don't forget what I was doing when I bought it on eBay, because I literally was doing a water change on my fish tank on a Sunday, and I was sitting there, and while I was pouring water, from clean water, into my sump for my tank, and I have to wait for it to all fill up, I'm scrolling eBay on my Beastmen saved list of all the new ones that have come up, and then I saw it. And when I saw it, it was actually for a decent price. It was not even overly expensive, but I was trying in my head to quickly calculate what the shipping would be, and that would be, and trying to sign in as fast as possible and get it. Just buy it now, essentially just get it, because I've been waiting so long. And it was just, it is the completionist thing. It is the whole searching thing that was all bubbling up after a couple of years of looking for it. But I will probably never forget the feeling of buying that miniature, because of how long I was looking for it. And it's funny because I saw it recently on eBay again, and I almost thought about getting it again.
get another one. I'm starting another unit.
Well, and it won't. I am not gonna. I have actually spares, but I'm not going to start these again. No, but I thought just because of how long it took me to find it, I was almost thinking about getting another one, but I didn't.
Yeah, there was a time when I was doing that with one of my armies.
Yeah.
And I gave up, and I was like, the amount of money I'm going to be spending and trying to complete this army, And that was before everything went up in price.
Yeah.
Now you look at the price of everything, and you're like, oh my god, I wouldn't want to start getting an old hammer army right now.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, it is 10 o'clock, and I've kind of got my work done, and I think it is time for me to step along.
Yeah, I got my mechs. I put together 3 mechs tonight in the 2 hours that we put together, which is not bad for me. Bill's good. I only have 11 more to go.
I don't know where the time went because all I did is I clipped 50 little Marines off the sprue and cleaned them up a bit and then put them in a row on the popsicle sticks. And then I did a total wash into every nook and cranny of that big Titan model, the black wash. And then I just recently, just the last few minutes, just found these guys and got some bases and glued them onto the bases for our challenge. And I think that's all I've done. But you know, it was still good. We got some stuff done and had a good conversation and kind of enjoying the paint and chats. So
yeah, definitely. I'd say on our next show, on your 2 weeks when we go over to your side, is when we're officially announced the painting challenge.
Sounds good.
So that'll be.
We could put it up on the Facebook page.
Yeah, definitely. So
it's been a while since we've done one. So
anybody that's watching now will know that the painting challenge is coming, so you can get prepared for it.
And it doesn't have to be Old Hammer. It could just be what you want to do.
Yep, it's whatever you feel like. It's like what I'm doing is not even. It's Old Hammer, but it's not Old Hammer miniature. So it's proxy stuff. So
cool. All right, everybody.
All right. We'll see you guys all in 2 weeks over in Palmer's channel. It's been nice to have you guys in the chat room talking with us, all 7 of you that's been following along.
Nice.
Which is kind of nice. Yeah, definitely. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Hope everybody's having a good night, and we'll see you.
See you, everybody. Take care.